Welcome to a new year and a new video from this week. This time we're starting a video series and it's all about software. We're going to be talking about Android more specifically, about all the different versions of Android that all the different smartphone companies make. And this is because we think it's important to know about the software in a phone as well as about its hardware when you're buying a phone. Now, Android has been around for a long time and Google has given it many updates to get it to the state it is in now. But over the years, many companies like Samsung, Oppo, Xiaomi and Vivo etc. have made their own versions of Android. But this base level of Android is called stock Android. So before we go and talk about the custom software made by other companies, let's have a look at what stock Android looks like. This stock Android is what Google uses as a software for their Pixel phones. And this is the foundation to any company to develop their own custom software. It has a minimalistic look, the design is simple and pleasing to look at, and it has all the basic features we all use today. And it doesn't come with any third-party apps like Facebook, Opera, random news apps and games, and the absence of these third-party apps makes stock Android a lot faster and smoother to use. But it does miss a lot of features that many people find useful, like call recording, screen recording, app locking, etc. So now that we know what stock Android is, let's get back to the main point of this video series. It's the software comparisons between the different versions of Android. This video will cover Xiaomi's MIUI and Oppo's ColorOS. And in the next two videos, we'll be covering OxygenOS, FunTouchOS, MIUI from Huawei, and One UI from Samsung. First, let's talk about some unique features that are only present in MIUI. Starting with the default launcher, which is the Poco launcher. There's a feature in this launcher which allows the users to hide apps from the app drawer. You can even set a password to secure them properly. You can customize how your always on display looks as well. You can change the clock faces to many different styles, and you can type out your own message to be displayed on the always on display. You can set shortcuts to execute certain actions quickly, like turning on the torch when you double press the power button, turning on the camera when you long press the home button, etc. You can assign all these actions you see here to a few button shortcuts so you can conveniently and quickly use them. Next, there is a feature in battery and performance to automatically turn the phone on and off. But this feature is only half working because it can't turn the phone on. It can only turn the phone off. And finally, quick replies. A really useful feature which lets you open messages from WhatsApp and a few other messaging apps in floating windows. This enables the user to quickly reply to these messages without closing the video they're watching on YouTube or the game that they are playing. Next, let's talk about some unique features in ColorOS. Firstly, there's a sidebar in ColorOS where you can add frequently used settings and apps to open them quickly. This next one is a bit silly, but the wallpapers in ColorOS are really good. It's just a little bit more fast and convenient that you don't have to go searching the internet for great looking wallpapers. And there are so many more options to choose from in the system navigation settings in ColorOS. You can have these bottom navigation bars you see here. There are two types of full screen gestures. And even in the navigation bar with the three buttons, you have the choice to remove the recent apps button. These last two features in ColorOS are both related to the notification center. You can mark notifications from certain apps as unimportant, so you don't have to see them in the notification bar all the time. You can see these unimportant notifications in the unimportant section when you press this button in the notification center if you want to. You can even snooze notifications to hide them temporarily. The phone reminds you about these notifications after a certain time. So if you're busy currently, you can view these notifications later when you get them again. Now let's talk about the similarities both MIUI and ColorOS share with each other. Starting with the theme store. The theme store in MIUI is much better and more neatly organized and has more themes for selection. And most of these themes are free, unlike the theme store in ColorOS where most of the good looking themes are not free and can cost up to 100 rupees. Both MIUI and ColorOS offer a feature called Quick Bowl. But in ColorOS, this can only be assigned up to 3 settings. In MIUI on the other hand, it can be assigned up to 5 shortcuts. You can also assign app shortcuts to it so you can quickly access the apps that you frequently use. Both MIUI and ColorOS offer a dark mode, but the dark mode in ColorOS has an option to force it on all apps. This means that you can enable dark mode in apps even if the apps don't support dark mode. In both operating systems, the default launcher has a smart assistant panel to the left side of the home screen. In this panel, you can add widgets like calendars, tasks, some shortcuts to open apps and settings. But I think the panel in ColorOS is a bit better to look at and use as it feels less cluttered and better organized. Both ColorOS and MIUI have a dedicated game mode to optimize performance while playing games. They both function similarly, although ColorOS offers 3 settings for its game mode. One is a high power mode to give the best game performance. Second is a balanced mode to give balanced performance and battery life. And third is a low power mode to give the longest battery life possible while playing games. But MIUI's game mode offers its own useful features, like being able to adjust the control sensitivity for games, and being able to adjust the game's look in terms of graphics and brightness.
So both ColorOS and MIUI offer many features to the users to make their life easy. But to be completely honest, I have to include my opinion in this video. Before recording this video, I really didn't like ColorOS. But while making this video, I used a Realme X-T for a week or two and I started liking it for its design. And I also like MIUI for the same reason. But honestly, I think MIUI is a little bit better than ColorOS. Not because I have a Xiaomi phone, but that might be a factor as well, but mostly because of ColorOS's inconsistency and its inconvenience sometimes. So what do you think about MIUI and ColorOS? Which do you think is better? Leave your opinions in the comments below. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to our channel for more informative tech content, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.